behind the stage, holding the door, is the amazing KRISTIAN. Hello.
Hello. How are you? Oh, good, good.
Sleeping.
Yes.
No, but let's wake him up. But funny thing is, I introduce you, of course, with a Game of Thrones quip, but I would like to talk about anything but Game of Thrones for
okay
a change. Because basically you mentioned your first big passion yesterday, which is DJing, yes, which you have been doing for a long time now. And I would like to ask you, how did this come about that you started DJing? And you did big shows. I noted down that you played alongside Dimitri Vegas and Like Mike in 2017. So how did that career start and evolve?
Yeah, I mean, when I first started DJing, I never imagined I would be playing with Tiesto. That was a very strange occurrence, but it was great. I was actually working as a drag artist in a bar in Belfast called Kremlin, which is probably unfortunately named these days for a gay bar. But I worked there for a few years as a drag artist, and I was always that guy. If I liked a piece of music, I would bring my friends over and be like, "Oh, have you heard this part? Have you heard this part?" And they were just like, "Really?" And it's kind of the same for being a DJ for me. If I get excited about music, I get to share it with the crowd. And I was working as a drag artist, as I said, and one of the DJs, they rang in sick, and I offered myself, like I could fill in for the night, because I had a huge music collection, and I studied DJing at college, so I could do it. And I did this party that night, and since that night, I haven't stopped DJing. I just continued to DJ, and that was nearly 30 years ago. So, like everything in my life, I kind of just fell into it, and yeah, that's just the way I work.
Do you have, you continue your DJing career, so what are your ambitions going about? I know that you do Game of Thrones inspired DJ shows, but do you have any special plans for the future, what you want to try and do?
Yeah, I toured the world. I went around probably 4 times with a show called Rave of Thrones, which I have to admit, at first I thought was a terrible idea, but people seemed to like it, and it just kept getting booked around the world, and it just was incredible. But going forward, obviously, yeah, there's more to me than Game of Thrones. So I've been writing a lot of original music, and my ambitions, man, I don't know. My ambitions are scary. I'm scared of my ambitions. I don't know. I think I'm capable of anything, but I don't necessarily mean that's going to happen. But just like all you guys, you're all capable of anything you want to do. So I've got these opportunities now, so I'm excited to see what happens. I never plan anything, so I'm just going to see what happens, and I'm excited for the future.
Amazing how you say that things just fall into place for you, because...
No, I said they fall into something.
Yeah.
Not into place, not all the time. I'm the same as everybody else. Things do go wrong, you know. So, yeah, but I've been lucky in other ways. So, yeah.
But sometimes it just works. By the way, DJing at BlizzCon twice, yeah, especially since you are an avid World of Warcraft player. And I think it's a question that many people have asked you before. How can we find your character in the world?
You can. I usually have a battle pet beside me called Hodor. So I'm not going to say anything else, but if you see a little pet and the person has this little thing called Hodor beside it, it's probably me. If it's a blood elf, it's probably me. So yeah, I've played Warcraft now for, oh my God, 20 years. Oh my God, so much time. But I still love it. I still love it, just like the day I first played it. And I never thought I would get to do a voice or anything in the game, or got to DJ for Blizzard. It's just all so crazy to me, and it still is. But I love it.
Do you remember how many hours you spent playing World of Warcraft?
Are you for real? I don't even want to even think about it. I mean, there's probably people young enough here that I've played your whole goddamn life. I've put weeks of my life. I'm not saying I'm proud of this, by the way. I have put months of my life probably into this game. Was that a good waste of time, or was that a good use of my time? Probably goddamn not. But I had a good time. So, and you know what? I met 2 of my best friends through Warcraft, and they're now real life best friends. So, it wasn't a complete waste of time.
I have to switch over to my big passion, because I, of course, like to watch big scale movies and TV shows, but I enjoy the smaller scale productions more, and I found something in your IMDb Vita that I would like to talk to you about. For us, the film is called Goblins, Tödliche Biester. For you, it's called Unwanted.
That's right.
And you played a part in this film. Interestingly enough, the goblins in the show were not puppets, but actual people performing in suits. So what can you tell us about the production? Because I think there was some fun to be had.
Yeah, I mean, that was a horror movie, obviously, and the character was so different to anything I'd done before. I usually end up playing quite a nice guy character, but this guy was just he was fucked in the head, if you'll excuse my language. And horror movies are fun, like playing characters that are bad, and it's a lot of fun. You know what I mean? It really is, especially when you've been playing someone who's nice. I got to put my head in a Tesco's bag and pretend I had been decapitated. Like, what? That's my day at work. I get to lie on the ground covered in fake blood and pretend I'm dead. That's amazing. I love that. I got to pretend to strangle someone. You know, wasn't particularly enjoyable. I'm not here to tell you. But yeah, it was a really nice experience. A nice experience playing a character that was so different.
But after Game of Thrones, which was basically your first real big acting experience, you have amassed quite a few interesting parts, like a smaller Robin Hood film, but also a very new show that is currently streaming, I think, on Amazon Prime.
Yeah.
Called Our Flag Meets Death, which is another... We have...
Yeah.
Fans, so
it's really popular. Like in America, for example, it's huge in America. It's like this whole room would be full of people dressed in our flag costumes. You need to check the show out. It's really funny. That's really good. So, I will tell you about the Robin Hood movie, though.
Yes,
my
please.
God, literally in that for like 3 seconds. And, I fall on the screen, already dead. Like they put like 3 fake arrows in my back and like just fall on the screen and then say your part. That was all. And they put me on the cover. I'm on the cover of that movie as if I'm like the star. Fucking hell. I'm in it for 3 seconds. So if you want to watch me for 3 seconds, go and watch Robin Hood.
By the way, if you want to ask Christian a question, there is a microphone right in the middle of the aisle. Please make use of it. Falls jemand gerne auf Deutsch eine Frage an den Christian stellen will, bitte einfach fragen und ich kann gerne übersetzen. Gibt's jetzt schon einmal eine Frage aus dem Publikum? Möchte jemand? Bitte schön.
And don't be shy, ask whatever you want.
Hi, I just wanted to ask you about Our Flag Meets Death, and if you can share one of your favorite moments while filming it, if there is one.
Oh, there's so many. I mean, it's actually the day we... Yeah, okay, it was the day, it was the very first day. The very first day we all met each other. And everyone's really nervous. You don't know anybody. You're all sort of sizing each other up, you know. And we had to do like physical tests to show what we could do, like forward rolls, just to show what we could do. We were all so bad. I mean, me and Nathan, who played Lucius, we just looked at each other and was like, I'm not doing that. You know what I mean? So we all just bonded on the first day. We knew it was going to be completely ridiculous. We went on a real ship the day after, and we went on like a real cruiser. And the idea was we would learn how to be sailors. No, we. I don't know if you know anything about sailing, but I don't. There's a thing you do with a rope called belaying. I don't know what it does, but you do something with a rope and you wind it around something. Basically, that was all we could do. So if the director said, do something parody, we would all like run towards the ropes. That's all we could do. Or else pretend to mop the deck. You know, apart from Vico's fucking good at everything.
Of course.
Seriously, they are like flicking the knife and everything, and twirling the gun, just badass at everything, and we're all just like, I hate you, you know. But the rest of us were totally pathetic, and you can probably see that on screen.
No.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi. So you are a gamer, and typically gaming and listening to music goes hand in hand. Since you make your own music, do you like to listen to your own music while you play?
That's a really good question. Probably not.
No.
You know, I don't listen to dance music when I'm playing. I listen to. I don't listen to music. I've just realised. I listen to the music that's in game.
Huh.
That's really boring, especially for a musician. But when I'm listening to music, I listen to synthwave, which is like. It's called different things in different countries, but it's basically 80s music. It's all synthesizer based, but it's modern. And it's all very atmospheric. It's like an 80s prom. That's what I listen to. That's what I really love. But I love my own music, don't get me wrong. But I listen to the game, which is pretty pathetic, I have to say.
I also just want to add, I was lucky enough to get to see you perform in a small bar in Columbus, Ohio, so I'm really excited to get to see you again.
No way.
Yeah, back in 2015.
10 years ago?
Yeah, before I moved here. The last month I lived in America.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, do you know, I've played in Columbus, Ohio twice, and I swear to God, I've never had two really good gigs there.
Really?
You guys really party quite hard. So I also remember the second time I played there, it was the sweatiest night I've ever DJ'd. I had to wring my jeans out. I had to go home and go, and the sweat was all over the hotel floor. So thank you for that.
No, thank you. Thank you
so much. I've just actually been to Columbus. I was in Columbus just before Christmas for GalaxyCon. I love it there. I think it's really underrated.
Well, thank you for that. Thank you for that. It's my hometown. Thank you.
What I also found interesting is that there is a podcast series called Dungeon Masters, where you play the role of Crowley in, I think, 3 episodes, but alongside people like John Hamm and Will Wheaton. So what can you tell us about podcasting work and this show in particular?
Well, I didn't know much about Dungeons and Dragons before I did this part, but it's historically correct, I believe. There's a really interesting story behind the progenesis of Dungeons and Dragons. Obviously, it's turned into a huge franchise, but there was an interesting, almost criminal story to the start of it, which I'm sure some of you know. But John Hamm was the lead character. We never met. I didn't meet anybody. It's the same as all these things. It was in my bedroom. You know what I mean? You're sitting with your recording setup, and you never meet anybody. It's crazy, but it's actually a really good little program. But voice work, it can be very disconnected because 9 times out of 10 you're in a booth somewhere far away. It's kind of like acting on green screen. It's a different animal. So it's another thing you have to learn. Trying to put yourself geographically there when you're not. So I would have liked to have met John, actually. So.
During your time as an actor, because we've heard yesterday that this is something that changed in the last couple of years, like you said, in earlier times, even the voice actors and dub work was done together to help facilitate improvisation and stuff like that. But this has gone apart. So everybody works separately. They even do this with shooting movie scenes now. Have you had experience with this sort of work style in productions changing over the last couple of years?
Yeah, it really has. And because of that, Our Flag Means Death was a real breath of fresh air, because you really do stick to the script. on most productions now. Like in Game of Thrones, like you imagine there's loads of bloopers and everything, but it's kind of like, it just cost me $200,000 for that joke. You know what I mean? But yeah, so I've completely forgotten the question. I do this in every panel. There's always one question I forget, so please tell me again.
I forgot myself. No. How you experience the change in work styles in movie productions over the last couple of years?
I'm back in the room. So yeah, our flag was so different because obviously we're in person, and Taika is completely all about improvisation, and I had never done any before. So that was a very steep learning curve. It's like, why are you not using the script? Please use the script. But usually it's very strictly, and productions that I've been involved in, it's been very, even Hodor has been very strict to the script, and that has changed. Because I'll notice a lot of the older British actors, the real like old guard who've been around for years and really talented, they will do things differently every single time. And you can see with the younger actors, they have to find a way to sort of mesh that together. So I can see a difference in younger actors and older actors.
Mm-hmm. We've heard here on stage very often that especially during production of TV shows, that actors, of course, become like a family working together for several years, but they also like to start playing tricks on each other and prank each other occasionally. Did anything of the sort happen to you or by you on the set of Game of Thrones?
I mean, there was times I was hanging out with Isaac, who played Bran. I thought I was being pranked the whole time, you know. Isaac kind of treated me as a big brother, probably a bit of a father figure, a playground. Like, he would be all over me. He treated me like a climbing frame. I love that. Honestly, Isaac's like my little brother, and he always will be. But yeah, you definitely form those relationships, and he was constantly annoying me like a little brother. Like, he really loved SpongeBob. Like, he's 24 now. That's weird talking about him like he's a child. He's not a child anymore. But he was on my back, and he would be singing friggin' songs from SpongeBob SquarePants. Right into my bloody ear, and I couldn't get rid of him. It was like strapped on. It would drive me insane. And to this day, I hate SpongeBob because of him. I almost like violently hate him. So yeah, sorry, Bob.
You know what you have to do right now.
No, you don't. No, you don't. Oh my God. I think I've erased it from my memory anyway. My God. So after all that therapy.
Anyways, there is still the microphone in the middle. Does anybody have 2 or 3 more questions? Are still possible. Yes, please.
Hi, Christian.
Hi.
My question is, if you could play a character from, for example, World of Warcraft, if that was made into another film, maybe a better one, or some other franchise, what character would you most like to play?
I have a very easy answer for that. I've thought about this a lot, as I'm sure you can imagine. I would have loved to have been in the Warcraft movie until I saw it, and then I was like, oh, good. I think they're going to. I have a feeling they're going to do something else. I think they might do another movie or a TV show. I think they're going to do something. I have a feeling, but I would love to play. There's a character called Tyrion Fordring. Anybody know him? Anyone play Warcraft here? I know nobody knows. Yes. Somebody knows down there. I don't have to explain it to all you guys. He's a paladin. He's like a holy knight, and he's head of an order. I just thought he was a badass. He's a big guy with a grey hair and a beard, and I just thought this is the guy for me. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. Yeah, I'm going to put it out there into the universe. So you never know.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I'm also really into the Castlevania franchise. Has anyone been watching Castlevania? Oh my God, it's so good. Yeah, I like all the animation. There's a couple they do the Dota animation as well, and they also do the Blood of Zeus. You need to check those out. They're all on Netflix, I think. Really good franchises. You're welcome.
Speaking of Castlevania, because we talked about the MMORPGs that you play, like World of Warcraft. You also said that you played Final Fantasy XIV for quite a while. But are you also into the smaller scale, like single-player adventures, like Castlevania, Uncharted, Tomb Raider, something like that? Is there anything other that you play personally?
I did play Castlevania back in the day.
Okay.
But not at the minute. I don't have time, honestly. I have time for one game. And anybody who plays Warcraft will know it's not like a game like for 5 minutes. It's your whole night, that kind of thing. So I don't have time for another game. I have played a few games. I played Pac-Man. I know it's only Pac-Man, but back in the day, my mother got addicted to it. And I mean seriously addicted to it. I would come home from school. I was like 8 years old. And I'd have my friends with me to play the computer. I would hear the noise coming from my room, and my mum would be sitting there, a tunnel vision. I had to sell my computer to get rid of my mother from playing Pac-Man. And that moved on to, there was a game called Jet Set Radio Future.
Oh yes.
Have you played it?
I think that was before my time.
Thanks for making me feel old, but thank you. Yeah, it was in the day of polygon, 3D graphics. But it has one of the best soundtracks of a game I've ever heard. It's all Japanese based and Seibu Mato and stuff like that. Check it out as well. It's really good.
No, actually, I will let you go out easy this time. No, actually, because we talked about so many different things that you do before, let's have a look into the future. Which are the things and projects that you would like to pursue in the oncoming years?
Well, last September, I know it's not the future, but last September I wrote a book and I released it in September. And I kind of got the bug for writing. So I'm currently about 3/4 way through a book of poetry. Believe it or not, I don't know where that came from. It just came from somewhere. I just started to do it, and it seemed to just happen. So I think instead of publishing right away, I'm going to do a weekly live stream, and I'm going to do a poem a week. I'm going to let you guys hear it, and you can tell me if it's shit or not, because I don't know. I'm not a poet. Apparently. I may be someday, but I'm not yet. So I'll be interested to hear your opinion. So I've been working on this book. I'm working on a lot of new music as well. Oh my God, I've got so many new tracks. I've got 2 years worth of new tracks. So I'm just getting them right. Such a perfectionist when it comes to music. It's hard to let go. I'm sure you guys who are creative, you can understand it's hard to let go of your work. So that's what I'm working on, and just auditioning and just waiting to see what's next.
Amazing. So best of luck with everything. Thank you all for coming out to see Christian on stage, but especially
thank you so much,
thank
guys.
you for coming to the Austria Comic Con. Christian NAIRN!
Thank you for having me, guys. I always love to be here, so thank you. Thank you.